New Hope, I want to welcome you for our July series. And joining me is someone you may know if you've taken Financial Peace University over the last number of years. He's also one of our elders here at New Hope. We are here in the place where Rob Dice works. So Rob, tell everyone what you do for your day job.
I run the design studio for Pacific Impressions, and I make amazing outdoor living spaces.
That's pretty cool. And you guys actually have looked after my lawn, and I love that idea, right? You don't just make it look good on the outside, but you've even come by and taken soil samples so that we can make sure that it's healthy under the surface, not just superficially looking good above the surface. But for this month of July, we're not really just gonna give people pro lawn tips, right? That's not what this is about. So Rob actually came up with the idea, the concept for our July series called New Hope Lawncare. Rob, what's this series really all about?
It's using lawn care as a metaphor for our spiritual lives.
Yeah, in the same way we would do things to look after our lawns, really every week, every month, there are things we need to do spiritually to be healthy too. And we've actually asked some people, what is the number one practice you have that helps you to do that successfully? And you guys are gonna get to hear those answers and hopefully try some of them out this month. You know, over the years at New Hope, we've said different things like, the grass may be greener on the other side of the fence, but it looks just as hard to mow. You know, to get good, healthy green grass, there's things you need to do, there's work you need to put in. One of my favorites is this. The grass is greener where you water it, right? And we want to spend this month hearing about and implementing some things that are going to help us to water the spiritual lawns of our life. Hey Rob, real quick, if you were given your number one practice that when you do, your spiritual lawn is more healthy, what would that be for you?
For me, that would be being active in my prayer life.
Yep, just talking to God, right? It's amazing how that builds that relationship. And similarly for me, it's when I practice the presence of God. So no matter where I am or what I'm doing, I'm mindful of Him and just sort of in constant dialogue with Him. That's just something that's great for me. So we really hope that this month is a huge blessing for you. And we all want to do a better job of taking care of the spiritual lawn of our lives.
Wow, hello, New Hope. How are you today? My name's Andy Cusick, and I am just tickled to come to you and spend a few minutes with you guys today and talk about New Hope Lawn Care and welcome you to July's series of New Hope Lawn Care. Just tickled. One of the things that I probably should have thought of when Rob texts me and says, hey, you want to speak Sunday? I was like, yeah. And then I'm like, well, probably should have asked him what it was going to be about. That'd be a good thing to do. So, but anyhow, as it turns out, it's this whole idea of lawn care. And one of the things that even Rob didn't know is one of my very first big boy jobs was in lawn care. He didn't know that. So I told him I didn't mow yards and do all that stuff. I would go out and measure the yards and do the application of spraying stuff and all that. So yeah, kind of ironic. I would talk to people about their lawns and all that. And at one point, I probably was a lawn care ninja. I don't know about that anymore, but anyhow. So we like to throw the ninja word around here. So anyhow, crazy how that all worked out when Rob first talked to me. So let's get into really what this series is about. And I want to talk to you about this saying that we have, and I'm going to leave the blanks in. So we'll kind of do this together, and then we'll talk about this. So The road to blank is paved with good blank. The road to blank is paved with good blank. And one of those words in there is one of the words that really sadly has kind of epitomized my life. It's one of those, and some of you guys, I know the word, I got it all, and I got it in there. So we'll just go ahead and fill it in, and then we can talk about that. So let's put the words in there. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. So intentions is the word, not the hell part. So anyhow, I have been. And maybe I'm perfect for this series also because of that word. It is intentions that I have always had. I've had good intentions. I've even had great intentions. And for anybody that knows me, that's probably one of the describers, sadly again. Oh, Andy's a good guy. Andy's got a great heart. Andy's willing to do anything. Andy's here, that. But sometimes Andy's intentions don't get past Andy's intentions. So, unfortunately, so let's move forward and kind of take a few looks at some areas and explore them that might kind of help us with this whole intentions part, okay? So, sticking with our theme, the first one is mowing, okay? The most common thing, the most basic of lawn care is mowing the thing, right? Do we have good intentions when it comes to mowing? Yes, I've got the greatest intentions of mowing. I want a good-looking yard. And I think yard is the part out there where the kids play, but the lawn's up there by the house. And I think there's a difference between keeping the lawn good and the yard plain. But yeah, that's just me. But I have owned my property. I've got 5.5 acres, and I probably mow 4. So I've done some mowing out there for probably the 20 years that I've owned it, and I end the year with putting a Band-Aid on my mower and thinking, I'm gonna get me a different mower for the next year, and I'm gonna start off the next year, and I'm gonna hit the mowing season, right on thing. And then I'm thinking, I don't want to go buy a new mower and have it sit in my garage all winter long. Who wants to make that payment or up, new to me? And yet every year I start the mowing season with a broken, stinking mower. I've paid the neighbor kid to mow my yard, and I've had great intentions of getting that thing taken care of. But it doesn't happen. What happens is I get to mowing so late that once I start cutting it down, I find sheep in there. They're not even they're not even chewing it up for me. So anyhow, and with all of the great intentions when we're talking about mowing, what some of them do? Am I tired? I worked today. I came home. I think anybody that's got a yard and we're looking at the thing and we want to whether you live in town or out in the country like I do, I like to stripe the yard, make it look good. So I've got all that stuff that I want to do, and yet. Well, I better mow it today. Oh, man, I'm tired. I came home from work. Now it's not going well. All these excuses. Fell asleep and shall get it after, So we've got the best intentions in the world. Better do it before it rains. Oh, there it's raining. Can't do it. So we always have, we can always blame it on the weather. So do I need professional help? Do I need somebody else to come out like in the video where, Rob has somebody take care of his yard for him and so we have great intentions when it comes to the mowing, right? So sticking with our theme. But we all have good intentions for our lawn, and we want it to look good. We just want it to be nice. But sometimes, like anything, our follow through it just doesn't add up. So anyhow, the next little part that I wanted to talk about and is good intentions has been with my health. And I'm 57 years old, and I'm in pretty good health. I'm not really talking about, my overall. I'm kind of talking about the intentions of, I think I need to lose a little weight. I think I need to lose a lot of weight. People ask me what's up. I tell them my weight. So anyhow, the intent is to get on a good regimen, to get to do the things that I need to do. Go work out. I've got up and worked out at 4 o'clock in the morning so that I can post on Facebook, hey, I work out at 4 o'clock in the morning so I can feel good at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yes, that's what I want to do. I've got the greatest intentions. I'm going to live the rest of my life. I'm going to go into my 60s and have big muscles, and I'm going to run and do all that stuff. The intentions there doesn't, I've even fasted, tried to lose weight. Unfortunately, no spiritual application in that whole thing, but just to try to lose weight. And I've just had the greatest intentions, and it reminds me of January, where we're going to make the resolution for our health and do all that stuff. And then there's just a couple guys in the gym on February, and that's about it. So it's kind of that word again, intentions. Andy's been that guy again. So I'm trying to look better, feel better, and it works. It works a little bit. I feel better here and there. I feel when you do it, but sometimes again, want to feel healthy, want to be better, but just those intentions don't really get to action, and it just doesn't add up. And that one's next one. The other one that I have is kind of one that the other two, yes, they're a little problematic with life and all that, but this one is marriage. And I'm probably the perfect guy to be talking about intentions of marriage. I get married, and I'm 18 or 19, and man, I intended for that to be just awesome. We got married at Christmas time. Our family was big, so they all got together at Christmas, and we had the big Christmas wedding. And I stood up in front of her family and 300 other people and said, I do, and I will, and I'm gonna, and all that. And I intended it to be great, and I intended the next one to be good, and I intended the next marriage to be good. And so now I am married to Amy, and I've got good intentions. Sadly, sadly, I guess I make fun of this in some small schools of people that I've been married 4 times. But here I am with Amy, and we have decided to do the work. We've put ourselves with great people. We've talked to. We've been with counselors, and we've pressed in and done and made the hard conversations. I've had to do the work when I really just wanted it to happen and just be married, and everything was good. But my intentions to have a good marriage requires me to do more work. And now I'm at a stage in my life where I'm wanting to do that work, and I'm seeing some benefits for marriage with doing my work. So just like anything, and I don't know if this intentional kind of mentality speaking is something that you guys struggle with, but I do. And just like anything with good intentions, and especially with my marriage, it's the follow-through and doing the hard work that really makes the difference, all right? So, here's the problem, though, okay? The problem is we all have good intentions. Those were my 3 examples. We all have really, really good intentions. Now, does it mean that Andy, we want bad intentions? No. We want to have good intentions. So, with all of this, in having good intentions, it's a great place to start. It's kind of like I don't know, that country song with our mowing theme. My tractor doesn't have any traction. So it's a good place to start, but the intention is just that if you don't have anything to go with it. So back to our road to blank is paved with good blank. Okay, what if we were to kind of mix that up a little bit? What if we were to change that and do this? What if we said the road to heaven is paved with good action? That even sounds better. So we have the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but the road to heaven is paved with good actions. So, and really, that's once we can get out of the intentions and get to the action, that's really where it's all at. Being consistent with those. I've been consistent with intentions. I mean, if we want to look at it that way, I just haven't really been consistent with my actions. So, and again, I want to be intentional with my actions, and hopefully you do too. So, in this, for me, came across just a great verse to help us, and that verse is in Hebrews 10:25, and so let's take a look at that one together. And let us not neglect our meeting together, as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near. And you're like, what? We're not even meeting together now, and this is a great Bible verse that I'm going to use for here. Yeah. Because how were we meeting before? How are we going to meet later? And in this whole thing of pandemic and quarantine and all of that, there's some things that we have to figure out. And we have had to figure those things out, maybe alone. And it just looks different because of this. So when that is looking different, and we need to find a different way to church, maybe, then the Bible tells us not to neglect this, but to be important. It's to even more important is that we're to be closer. And we can't social distancing and all of that, so we're doing the things that make it that's different. And some of that is internet and Zoom and all that. So as you saw in the video, one of the things is going to be our pro tip, and my pro tip for how I am to deal with all of this is relationships. And a relationship, for me, I'm a relationship guy. I think people that know me, along with being intention, is that I do like to have relationship. And be in relationship with good people, be also that connective and be consistent with it. And so let's look at a couple things that my pro tip can help us with, just some examples for that. One is church. And when I say that, it is we can't meet here, and we've heard over and over that we are the church, but church is looking different. So like I said, it can be online. It can be Zoom. You can also do the watch party. I haven't done it yet. If anybody has, let me know how that works because it sounds pretty cool. And Jesus said, "Where two or three are gathered," and so in this time of not being able to meet in a building, what does church look like, and how does that play out for us? And when I'm consistent with meeting with church type activity in my mind, then that's a game changer for me. And it's a game changer, I think, for the people I get to meet with, and a game changer really in everything. It's just me. So the next is people. So we've got the church. Well, now it's the people part of the relationship for me. And again, when I'm consistent with the right people, my spirituality is healthy. Kind of like the healthy lawn. And two people in my life I've met pretty regular with Tony and Mary Colas. We don't have speed dial anymore, but the saying is I'd have them on speed dial, and just good quality, consistent time spent with them, and help me and really life together. And I think Jeremy Gessner knows that small groups are important. We talk about them. I've been in small group with Jeremy a couple times, and so small group in now's time is just really a good way to do it. We've been in small group where we've just got together in fellowship. We've been in small group where we had some dedicated devotion time. And so however small group works for you, and you be the small group. You start a small group if you're not getting involved or getting maybe invited to one. One-on-one time, meeting with somebody just to whether do life together, talk about things there, be more spiritual in your conversation with that. Just to live life one-on-one is just a good time too. And remember again that iron sharpens iron, and it just makes a good difference. The truth is that the right people and the right relationship, when consistent, again, over time, that also is another game changer for me. I think it's a game changer for, for the people that you meet with too. I've talked with Tony and Mary, and I go to them and say, something's up with me, and we'll talk, and they'll say, you've blessed me. So it is an iron sharpening iron kind of thing. So the next one is food. Sounds kind of funny, but food. I believe if you check around in the New Testament that Jesus spent a lot of time with, people and food. It was the thing that he did. And I think that when you meet people over food or with food, it slows things down. It makes things maybe more relaxed, more comfortable. I don't know, more fun. But there is a difference with just getting together with people and food. Yeah, and good food, right? So, for example, Amy and I are out doing errands here last week. We go into one of our favorite restaurants, get in, look over, lo and behold, there's Rob and Bethany and Liam. And we're like, there's a table right there. We social distance ourselves right up beside them, close to them. And we sat and it was one of those just fun, good moments caught all of us off guard. We had a great time, sat and talked over food. It was just a good time. Since all of this pandemic and that, there's been a group of us that meet on Sunday morning, and we get to watch this, and we have what we call a breakfast club, and just spend some time together with some pretty good breakfast. And then I had a time, I'd like to get back to it, just a bunch of guys get together and we go get some wings and just do food and life. And I think, again, that with the right people, the right atmosphere, all of that just makes a world of difference for me because I'm a relationship guy and we just get to build just some quality time. Consistent and just it's good for them, it's good for me. It motivates me, it brings me up. And even when we're just talking about life, it's not always light and fluffy, and it's not always heavy. It's just being with other people, and it's a game changer for everything for me. So my pro tip, and you're going to hear pro tips for the rest of the series, and I invite you to try my pro tip. Try the other guy's pro tips that's going to talk, and mine might not work for you. The other three may be great. Just mine's probably the best, but anyhow. But you see, just I invite you to spend some time listening to these pro tips, and then just get involved. Just move past the intention of just looking at things and listening to things, and get into some action. It just really will change your life. It's changed my life, and I think you can kind of agree with that. So I find that for me, consistency over time with the right people, we grow better, we learn better, we hold each other accountable, we act better. I went through a little dark period this winter, and I was able to move past that, talk to my friends, and just got us to really get into some quality, some life. So that's my number one pro tip, and it just to help my spiritual lawn and my spiritual life. So join me if you would this week, and just kind of take full advantage of all these pro tips, living maybe just a little better life, so that we can all find a way to help each other and really kind of help us grow.
Your body. Can you eat whatever you want, not sleep enough, not take care of yourself, never ever exercise, and wake up 30 years later and go, wow, I'm a stud? You can't do that. In your business, can you not take care of your employees? Can you not pay the bills? Can you do whatever you want and never even be there and come back 3 years later and your business is more profitable? It's not likely. Your yard, can you never ever water it? Never fertilize it? Never even look at it? Come back 2 years later and win Yard of the Month? You can't do it. There's no other area of your life where you can take the gas off, be complacent, become lazy, and see things get better. Speaking of your yard, I like to say when it comes to marriage, if the grass ever looks greener somewhere else, it's time to water your own yard. It's time to put some fertilizer down on your own yard. Why is it that at one point we were so in love, we were buying a puppy dog for each other? And then years later, we can barely ever speak. Well, we fell out of love. We fell out of love. We're going to get divorced because we fell out of love. To get divorced because we fell out of love is kind of like we're giving the car away because we ran out of gas.